Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're in Air Hauler 2 today, and just a couple of days ago there was a massive update to Air Hauler 2 for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and in today's video I'm just going to run through the highlights of the main things there that have been added / fixed. But before I do that, just a reminder, go ahead, smash that like button down below. You can see it right there. Go ahead and do it. The YouTube algorithm absolutely loves it. And if you are new to the channel, how about consider subscribing? It costs nothing at all except just a little bit of self-respect. And let's be honest, who's not willing to give up some of that? We all do it on a Friday night after a few beers. Anyway, everybody, with that said, let's run through the highlights. And like I said, it was a pretty major update that dropped. Now, just a little heads up that if you did download the update a couple of days ago and you haven't gone back in, was an issue with the passenger operations in terms of scheduled passenger flights, but a hotfix has dropped for that. Check out the Air Hauler 2 forums for a link to that, and you can fix that all up. So just be aware of that. But anyway, the first thing that I want to talk about, and this is something I know that people put down in the comments and that I've spoken to people about, is the fact that you are now able to import third-party aircraft into Air Hauler 2 and use them in your company. And I know that was a bit of a sticking point for some people. So let's go ahead and do that today, because I haven't uploaded mine yet. So for example, I've got the Coronado PA44 Seminole. So I'm going to look to import that into Air Hauler 2. So the way you do that, I mean, you've got two ways to do it. You can either go up to the old school panel up the top there. I'll use the new school one. I go to aircraft management right there, and right here we've got a little tab here called import in aircraft. Now in Flight Simulator 2020 you've got to use this little button here called import via Simconnect. I'm not going to get heavily into the details of why you couldn't previously do it, but essentially encrypted aircraft with no CFG file made it pretty much impossible. So what you want to do is go ahead and press import via Simconnect. Then it asks you to rev up your Microsoft Flight Simulator, and then go ahead and press this button. So I'll go and do that right now just so you can see how that works. Okay, we've got our sim all fired up now, so let's go ahead and press OK right here. And what you want to wait for is this little button here to turn green. It does indeed. You go ahead and press transfer data. Remembering that you do have the proper aircraft loaded up at an airport in the sim. It doesn't matter which airport you have it loaded up at, by the way. Also, some information may not transfer across, and I'll show you in 2 seconds how you can add that information yourself. But there we go. We've got everything we need right there. I go ahead and press OK. And the aircraft has been imported, so we now have access to this Seminole. So if we check out our fleet list right down here, Coronado PA44 Seminole. It looks like all the information has come across, which is great, but if we didn't, we could right click on it. Actually, once it's in our fleet, you can right click on it, and you can set the cruise speed and fuel consumption and stuff like that, so you can add the details as required right there. So nice and easy to go ahead and actually up the top here, modify aircraft data. That's the one I was looking for, sorry. You can go ahead and update that other stuff by right clicking, but there you go. That's one of the major parts of this update, is the fact that you can now import those third-party aircraft. Okay, another thing that happens is when you go ahead and fly an aircraft, so let's just say we want to fly our Beechcraft Baron right here, Beechcraft 350, having a shocker. No surprises there. Let's just say we're going to fly to PHNL, which is Honolulu. We've got all our stuff loaded right here. If we go ahead and press OK, and I'll just accept this. I'm just flying through this bit here, so to speak. This info screen right here has had a bunch of information added to it. One thing that you'll find that wasn't in the previous version is this kneeboard information, which is nice and handy. Remembering that you can't exit out of this while your flight is actually going on, so it's nice and easy here with a bunch of information of the departure airport. At the moment I'm at Waimea Kohala. And it gives me the elevation, landing fees, all that sort of stuff, the runway. Then my arrival information, obviously elevation, landing fees once again, all the different runways right there. And you also got the nav radio dial in there for the ILS arrival if that's what you choose to get into. So just a bunch of different information there that makes it a lot easier for you at a glance. The other thing that it now does, the program now does, is when you load up your aircraft to do a flight, it will automatically load the fuel up into your aircraft. So that's one thing it didn't do previously. So that's that's nice and easy right there. Okay, I'm going to finish off with a change that's been made to the estimated income on scheduled passenger routes. But before I do that, a couple other things. One is surface penalties have been removed. Obviously, with the inconsistencies, I should say, in some of the surfaces out there, you're getting unfairly penalised there, so those have been removed. Also, you can now insure your personal aircraft, so if you're running a personal fleet, you can go ahead and insure those. But just to finish off, let's check out the scheduled passenger routes right here, and here goes the ones that I've got set up for my AI pilots right here. And if I go into sector details, now this will be the same screen when you go ahead and set up these routes, but the big change is this utilization right here. What it used to show was what your expected income is likely to be at 100% utilization. In other words, every seat was filled. What it now does is, based on a number of factors, gives you an estimate on your income that you're likely to receive based on the current utilization. So 89% utilization, so 3216. So that's all good for me right there. Let's jump into another one, sector details. Sorry, cancel that out. Okay, I found one that is a little bit different because these are well-established routes. I've got a lot that are sort of at maximum capacity or maximum income. So here goes one here. It's 7 seats. So slightly less estimated income right here. Now it does say here it is only estimated, and actual income will depend on ticket sales at the time of the flight. So there is that variable right in there. But this might give you a little bit better information based on current factors what you're likely to get from the flight. So that might then make you go ahead and change your pricing perhaps. One thing to consider is as your routes get more established and your reputation increases, that will give you much better results from these scheduled passenger routes. But I've sort of left mine to be and let them sort of matured a bit. And now that they're matured, I probably do need to make a few adjustments just to try to maximize the income. But the good news is now, rather than telling you what it's likely to be if you're fully booked, it just tells you really what they think you're going to be based on current factors. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. There goes the update to Airhauler 2 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Some really good additions there, and some that people were desperately keen to have implemented. So it's good to see that it's been upgraded and tweaked as time goes by. So once again, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you are new. And until next time, everybody, take it easy.